Man, what's true to you? Ah, not you. I'm very about one. Do Roslyn. Hello? Hello, Roslyn. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, how are you? Can we start?
Good afternoon. Yeah, the only one here. Are we still waiting for others?
They
I
will
think we
join
should.
us. I think they will join us from their various devices.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. We are Hackerbella team.
We are here from Students Affairs, CMU and teaching.
Oh, thank you so much, ma. I just want to reach out to you via WhatsApp that you should kindly join the session.
Yes, we are here. We are here.
Thank you so much. And I'm grateful that the network is very good today.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So we'll be walking you through the student affair model for the new ERP that we are building. So it will be an interactive session. If you have any suggestion or question during the course of the presentation, kindly just unmute your mic and speak, or you could raise your hands up so that the presenter can be notified and it can also call you. So the lead designer will be doing the presentation in the person of Sam Esepe. So Mr. Sam, please kindly proceed with your presentation because we want it to be a very fast one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rose. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible, please?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sam.
Yeah, awesome. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Then I would go ahead from there.
Yes, you can see your screen. I can see your screen.
Okay, everyone else, please.
I can see your screen.
No.
Yes, you can see it.
CMLC, can you see screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Okay, so we would be running through the module of the student affairs for the Minilag ERP. So this would show us the various modules we have. As we see right now in the navigation bar, from the discipline management, adopt a student program, work study, accommodation management, clubs and associations, counseling management, NYSC mobilization, electoral management, reabsorption management, student ticketing, and anonymous reporting. So to start from the first, which is the discipline management. On this particular overview and program, we first see the summary cards that shows us information of what's happening across this particular module. So we have these showing for active cases we have within discipline management, those currently under investigation, how many we have the hearing scheduled, how many are pending approval, how many also are under appeal and have been closed within the last 30 days. We also go on to show within this overview charts for cases by faculty, as well as also the monthly case volume for the last 12 months. So what this shows us here, as we see, is for each faculty that we have within the institution, which are having more disciplinary cases within the university. We can see that number on this chart. And the monthly case volume goes on to show how many new cases and closed cases we are having within the last 12 months. Hovering over this would give us more details by showing us the direct number for each of them and the particular month it represents. If you scroll to the bottom of that same page, we have the all cases. That's all current cases that are happening within the disciplinary system. We're able to filter those information by maybe searching a particular student or matric number, searching the offense category, where they fall under here, maybe even a faculty, assigned officer, and within particular dates. as well as also, having more filters to find maybe severity of the case we're looking for, maybe major cases or minor, as the case may be. Also, we could search around for the current status of the case. Maybe we want to see all cases that are under investigation, all cases that are waiting student response, whatever that might be, we're able to apply those filters to it. Once that's done, the list of the cases we have here, as we see on the screen, goes on to show the case number, student name, matric number, faculty, offense category, severity status, and the assigned officer to that case, as well as also the number of days that that case has been open for. Once we go on to click on a case to open the information, so here is an open case. Within this case, we can see the incident details, incident dates, location, and faculty. I'll go through all of this case, but first let's go through creating a new case within the system. So to create a new case, we have the button at the top of the screen here that shows us to add a new case. Once we have done that, we are then able to see the information to provide for this case. So this is a new disciplinary case with a draft ID that's been provided for it. We go on then to input the incident dates, incident time, incident location. So let's say this happened at the lecture hall. This was reported by either a security staff member, student, whatever the case might be. So selecting one of these, say the security, we also have the complainant details. So who filed the information, we want to have their details too as well. So for REN, staff number or student matriculation number, email address, and phone number. We then go on to start inputting the accused students. So by typing out the matriculation number or student name to search them out. So if I search out a particular student now with its number, I see this student that have been seen here. Students with this program level faculty, we're also able to add multiple students to this particular case. So if I click here to add another student, I could do the same as well. So going on, we then go on to select the offense category. So here what particular offense has been committed, either the academic misconduct, assault, harassment, or whatever the case might be. Each of these key offense categories that we select, the system also auto-defines the severity based on what has been placed within the system. So for example, harassment is a major offense severity, as we can already see here. So if we creating this new case now, go ahead to select this as a minor severity case, the system will then ask us to provide a reason for why we are placing harassment as minor severity, so which we then also have to do. But outside of this, any other case we submit, gross misconduct, the system auto suggests. Going on, we then also have to input the incident description. Incident description minimum of 200 characters. So we're trying to give detailed account of the incident, including what happened, when, where, and who was involved with it. So once we type out that information, we also go on to input the witness information, if any. If there are no witnesses, but adding a witness, we go on to click the button to add a new witness and type in their full name and contact details, as well as also a witness statement, either an image or a PDF file. Going on to do this, we then finally upload supporting documents. So with supporting documents, we see either if there's a security report, a CCTV footage, medical reports, written statements, evidence photos, and other, whatever supporting information we have to this particular case. Once we've gone on to submit all of that, we submit that case. Clicking to submit the case, we get this confirmation screen that tells us that notification, so meaning that the head of the student affairs is going to be notified about this new case that has been opened, as well as also the accused students or students, as the case might be. They are all notified of this new case, as the case's status is also set to under investigation, and a deadline is set for it for 2 weeks, 14 days. Once we go on to confirm and submit, this case has been submitted, and the parties that I have just mentioned will be notified for it. So a case has been set up. We have that case now visible here within all cases. We are able to click on any one case to view the information. So this is a case that's been created. We can see the details that we have made before, from the date, the location, the time, the description, the accused students, the complainant details, as well as also the offense classification, harassment, or whatever that might be. Once chosen, we are able to go into the investigation timeline. So under investigation timeline, we set the status of this case. So currently, the status is under investigation. But depending on where we are, we're able to set to awaiting the student response or witness statements, or even completely marking this as investigation complete, where that is the case. We see the milestones that has happened, either when the case was created, it shows who created this case, when the investigation started, the evidence collected, witness interviews, just giving us a timeline of events. For actions to take, you see here during the investigation, if we were to add a note, we could click here to add a new note to this investigation. So an interview, an evidence collection, site visit, whatever it might be. Also the findings and observations we make towards it, we add that, as well as also next steps. The dates and time captured are auto-captured by the system when we save that notes. We can also go into add new evidences. So evidence, the type, it's CCTV, photo, witness statements, expert reports. Source of evidence, dates collected, who it was collected by, as well as also how these evidence is handled and stored, and the evidence file. We are also able to go on to schedule witness interviews. So to interview the witnesses, we go on to choose a witness. So based on the witnesses that have been created with this case, we go on to choose a witness and then set date, time, location, or if it's a virtual link, and also the notes for it. On sending out this invitation, an email is shared to those witnesses for them to appear on the date, the location, and the time that was given to them as well. Also scheduling a student interview, similar information, but the student is alerted of the interview that has been scheduled for them within the investigation timeline, as well as finally requesting an expert report. Depending on the units that request this form, that unit receive this information and then are able to provide their opinion on this particular report for it. Finally, if an investigation is complete, we are able to click this button here to complete that investigation. So in completing this, we input the key findings. The evidence summary is shown based on all of the evidence that were uploaded. We can add annotation for each of these evidence items. Then students' defense summary too as well. So whatever defense has been received for the student is also going to be viewed here. And then finally, we give the recommendation based on the discipline or the disciplinary case at hand. So selecting the recommendation, we select either if this is a minor misconduct, or it's a case that has been dismissed, or a moderate misconduct or major. Whatever those might be, the consequences for those follow too as well. So for a moderate suspension recommended, so we go ahead to give the justification for this recommendation, as well as also upload any final investigation reports, and then we submit that for hearing. Once that is submitted for hearing, we can always come, we can see the tabs that we have above here for evidences. This is showing all of the evidence. Student response. Once the student responds, the information is shown here. If they haven't yet, we're able to click to remind that students to submit their response to this particular case. We can also see the witnesses. The audit trail is basically showing every single action that's happened within this case and creating a log of that. So we could start the hearing. So once we go to the hearing, we could schedule the hearing first. So right now we have no hearing scheduled. But going ahead to do that, if we schedule a hearing, we are clicking the cases to be heard, selecting the case, as well as also then the committee composition for this particular hearing. The information here is shown within the system that we can select who needs to be present for this hearing, all relating to the defendants. We also set in a date, time, and venue, start dates, as well as also an expected duration for the hearing and the location. Hearing agenda can be imputed. We could impute, whatever the agendas might be. We can input more than one agendas to this, as well as if there's any special notes, we can then go on to schedule and create this hearing. So once we go on to schedule a hearing, we can then see the dates and time that we set up for this particular hearing, and all parties are also notified to the hearing information or hearing time, location, and details. On the date of the hearing, we come over here to click the button to begin hearing. Once we do this, first of all, we have to check the committee members that are present for the hearing. So all committee members that have been invited, we can check the box that these are the committee members that are present for this hearing. And then also if the student is present or absent, if they are absent, we see that we then get the option to either postpone the hearing or we can go on to proceed in absentia of that student, as well as also justification for proceeding in absentia, the absentia of the student. But if present, we also put this, if there's a student representative that's present or not, as well as also for the witnesses, if any of them are present within the hearing, we can select which of these are present. Finally, an optional photo or an attendance screenshots optionally can be uploaded into the system, and then absence reason per absence party, as recorded above. Once we confirm the attendance, we then go on to begin the hearing. So confirming, we see the hearing form here. So session details, proceedings, deliberations, decision, and signatures. So first we hear the hearing date is auto-populated from the current time right now, as well as also dates, start time, committee, their chair name. Here, so the attendance, the attendees that we've already selected from the previous screen, as well as also the case number and the accused students. If we go on to hit the next, we then input the proceedings. So summary of the evidence presented, summary of student defense, committee questions and student responses, witness testimonies, if any, adjournment or breaks, which is an optional information to fill. Completion of this, we get on to the third step of this, the hearing minutes form. So for the hearing minutes form, these are restricted to the committee members only. So meaning that they are also informed, and then this particular deliberation screen comes up on their own logins to then input these particular information. So for the committee members, for the recording key discussion points during the committee deliberation. During the discussion points, factors considered, as well as also the voting record. So we're able to see the voting record. Okay, sorry. So to go on, yes, so we also then get to see the voting record for the committee members based on their stance, or these can be imputed by the admin. So either for, against, or abstain, whatever the case that might be, we see the voting outcome, which is the majority in the deliberations being made. Once we are passed to next, we set the final committee decision, either on dismissed case, a warning, verbal warning, written warning, community service, fine, probation, suspension, justification, or potentially refer for further investigation. Any which is selected will provide further information that we have to provide. So either with a verbal warning, we impute the justification or the reasoning, the condition, and then also if there's a right of appeal and the deadline for that right of appeal as well as also any extra information that should be provided to the students for their appeal procedure. if this is a rustification, for example, we also provide more information, same information, sorry, as the appeal procedure, if any. If there isn't an appeal, if there's no right of appeal, then this is being sent directly into the signature or requesting for the signatures of the committee members. As a fine, more information again, we can go on to input the fine amounts, as well as also the payment deadline for that particular amount, as well, and then also the method that it's to via remitter or bursary. Justification, reasoning, and a right of appeal if available. For any of these that have been selected and we hit the next, all the signatures required for the committee members also, they are notified to append their names, which works as their digital signatures to give a nod towards the particular meeting minutes that has been set here. So if I go ahead to maybe provide some details so we can see. Yeah, so once we've gotten their signatures and their name confirmation from here, we are then able to go on to finalize and send the hearing details also to the class students, either for the awareness of any appeal information or not. For appeal management, so should the student go on to appeal through the student portal, they can provide appeal information, such as their grounds for appeal, their justification, and any documents that supports the appeal they are asking for. So we see these details, what has been checked by the students, grounds for appeal, whether new evidence, decision that is disproportionate, then their justification for this, as well as also supporting documents to that information, and then a desired outcome details. Details too as well. As well, then we also then to provide the information such as is this admissible or inadmissible, as the case might be. Once it's admissible, we go on to put a reason. So appeal meets all procedural requirements and raises valid ground for reconsideration. Once the appeal is marked as admissible, we have then the investigation officer being notified to submit a response. Either the officer could maintain that the evidence was comprehensive. The investigation officer, provides a response to the appeal that has been come up by the students, and as well, if there's an original committee response, which is optional, we can also upload that. But the committee decision on the hearing, there will now be a full appeal hearing is required, which we then go on to schedule another hearing for that particular case. Or if this will be a document-only review. So reviewing the documents, the supporting document that the student has uploaded, whichever that is the case. But once provided and we get the information for this, we then get to select the appeal decision. So either the appeal is dismissed and the original decision stands, or the appeal is partially upheld and the penalty is modified. If that is the case, we can then go on to provide the new decision for this appeal and the effective date. But if the appeal is upheld and the original decision overturned, then we also go on to see the system auto triggers or the dismissed as well. If there's a remand for hearing, we then go on to submit the appeal decision, which will then move the status back to under a rehearing, and another hearing schedule had to also be requested by the admin. An enforcement tracker. So after a student has been given their decision letter based on whatever the outcome of this case might be, we can preview that letter here. The letter is again provided at the final end of the hearing, and that letter can then also be previewed and sent or even downloaded. Once sent, now the student also receives the copy of this letter. It shows the notification status to us who has been informed about the current status of this case, as well as also an enforcement actions tracker. So depending on what the decision was given. If it's a warning, a community service, fine, suspension, or justification, we see the information here. So, for example, a fine, we can get to see if the payment has been made via the portal from the students. We can also see if it's overdue and when we can go on to escalate. If it's a suspension, we can see what the system has restricted the students. So, for example, restriction from course registration, exam registration, hostel access, library borrowing, and the student status. So we also see here that suspended ends by the timeline that has also been provided. Same with justification, we get the what has been done by the system, the complete deactivation of their portal, or a warning where we can see the hours that is logged in by the supervisor for that student. All of the information of any discipline or any disciplinary case can always be completely exported or printed out to see all of the details relating to the case, meaning all documentation submitted, or information, and all hearings and investigations that we've done throughout the entire case. Within, again, finally, on the discipline management, we are able to then see the report and analytics. So by report analytics, we can then, first off, either search up any staff, any students to see their disciplinary history. So once we search those up, every staff search is logged. So meaning that any student that is searched, all of this is logged in the system, in the audit trail of the system. And then we also see the officer performance report. So based on the officers that handles the different cases that they are assigned to, we can see the number of cases that each officers have handled, the average time they take to resolve a case, how many cases each officers have overdue. Of course, this is a high-level viewing, so this is only seen by the admin or the head of the dean of the student affairs or the head of the department too as well. So they also then get to see the open cases for all the officers. The committee activity report is also shown. We can set a timeline, but for here we can see, how many hearings are being held by any of the committees that we select, the average duration of the hearing, and then the decision, the distribution. So meaning what decisions are these committees making most of the time, as well as also the appeal rate from students to these cases. We also see the offense trend analysis. So this is showing us the different types of offenses that we have. So year on year, which of these are we seeing more and more? So we see, for example, here, academic misconduct, harassment, whatever the case might be, but we see a chart showing when and where these are all happening. A seasonal heat map also shows, so for the offense that we see here, so when this offense is occurring more, in what time of the year do these offenses occur more, we see that information here, as well as also we see the faculty and offense type correlation. So according to the different faculties, what offenses are happening related to those faculties and their numbers. So, with engineering, with arts, where are they having more, what type of offenses are occurring within these individual faculties. And then finally, we see the appeal statistics. So number of appeals that we have, number of appeals that are being partially upheld, remanded, or even dismissed, as well as also, the success rate for original decisions that are being made. And then finally, the case duration analysis. So showing on average how long each of these cases taking to be resolved, and see those by severity and how long we are spending in each segment of it. And then finally, this, we can see the bottleneck identifier, so being the investigation. So basically, what status during a case are we spending the most time on? So this is then where we see that information for it. So next, before I move on to the, I believe that will be the accommodation management. Do I have any questions for this particular module?
Well, I think you can go
Move on.
ahead. Just move
Okay.
on. Okay, somebody is raising up his hands already. Mr. Charles.
Okay, so I'll just go on. Maybe he's out of network at the time.
Mr. Charles,
Okay.
please speak up.
Okay.
Mr. Charles,
Good afternoon. Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation so far. My question is this. Some of the students are referred for counseling or psychotherapy. Is there any column where whatever that is done in those sessions, it might not be one session, it might be more than 2, 3, 4 sessions. Is there a column where some of those things could be documented? Also, is there a column where assessment report, the kind of assessment you did, and the summary of that outcome could be reported using this? Thank you.
Okay. So my first question for the students being referred to for counseling, these are being done within a case hearing. So is this a decision that's been made by the committee to be referred to for counseling, or is this just an input that's made on the side, regardless of what the outcome of the hearing?
Okay. In some cases, the committee will refer such candidates for counseling or for further assessment, especially when they suspect some severe emotional disturbances.
Sorry, could you go with that again? I didn't hear you very well.
I said sometimes the students are referred by the committee for counseling or psychotherapy, where you are going to see them one-on-one after the disciplinary measure or the panel has agreed. Then they send them for counseling or psychotherapy, depending on what they consider to be the problem.
Yeah. Okay. So my question is, when they are referred to for counseling, this particular information or this particular action is done regardless of the outcome of the hearing.
Exactly.
It's not part of the outcome.
It's not part of the outcome of the hearing. Okay. Now, when they come, you start seeing them ab initio to be able to understand them and then do some assessment to know whether they're underlying factors, then design a treatment plan that will be able to deal with probably the cause of the misbehavior.
Okay. Okay. So I guess we could add that action within here for the students to be able to push them to the counselor, recommend them for counseling or any psychological evaluation.
Yes. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So accommodation management, we want to see the information relating to the accommodation for the students. Here we are able to see that. So from the first screen we see here, we see information on total number of beds, total number of allocated beds, the wait list, the payments we still have pending, active halls or hostels, as well as also the available number of beds within the institution. If we scroll down on this particular page, we see the hall allocation status. So what this is showing is that, so for each of the different halls that we have, so it's showing the number of allocated spaces within that hall, the number of available spaces within the hall, and the wait list. So wait list is the number of people who are still waiting to receive, but they haven't been assigned to any rooms yet or beds yet. And we then also see a hall summary. So for the different halls that we have available, gender, total beds, total allocated beds, available wait list too as well. So when we click to view the room allocations, we see the halls that we have. So for example, the Maria, Jaja, Moremi, when we click on any of them, we can see first the room grid as well. So the number of floors that we have potentially on the hall, we see the legends. So these legends show us, this means the room is full. This means it's partially full, it's vacant, or it's currently under maintenance. So for floor 1, we can select to see floor 2, for 3, depending on the number of floors and then the number of rooms within those floors all created within the system. So for example, on floor 1 and the rooms we have, so once we click on this room that's partially filled, we see the information as the number of beds, number of occupants, room type, and we see the occupant information, their name and their matriculation number. So we are also able to go on to either see all of the students who are under that particular room, or even mark the room as under attendance, maintenance. So marking as under maintenance, we can put the issue type, room number is already there by default, and description and priority. So going on to mark as attendance, maintenance, we submit this request. Within here, we can see the maintenance log of requests. Sorry, give me a minute, please. Yes. So we see the maintenance request log for this. So for this request log, we can either log a new maintenance report, room, issue type, description, and log that, all also to be seen from a maintenance dashboard view of all the information or descriptions and issue type reported. Back on the dashboard, we are then able to manage the begin balloting. So first off, we can start a new balloting cycle by, once we select this, the academic session, target groups, balloting start and end dates, as well as also if it's a faculty-based balloting, we're able to select the faculty and the number of beds that we are configuring or assigning to those faculties. Else, we are able to see the bed inventory too as well for this particular balloting cycle. So going on to select the number of beds, male beds, total beds for the halls, and then the eligibility criteria. Either we are saying the fee payment has to be fully paid minimum, but these can all be set within the system. Either academic standing too as well, and any students that can qualify with maybe outstanding accommodation debts. We are also able to add specific rules where provided or where needed, either with maybe a certain level, a certain priority group having a certain access, either a block priority, a floor priority, or a single room access, depending on the case might be. These are all individual rules that can be set. We also go on to set the balloting method. So we can have various methods, either the merit-based, hybrid, first come, first served method in offering the applicable spaces to students. And then finally, the special allocation. For special allocations, we are able to set how many of the bed spaces are going to be set aside, maybe for medical accommodation needs, for SCG executives, for athletes, or for physically challenged students. We can define the number of beds that have been set aside for those. And then at the end of the list, we see the total reserved, total available for balloting, and remaining after special allocations. With this, once we set this up and put all of the rules and set up this, we are also able to run an eligibility check. Basically, what it does is that it runs to the entire system of students that we have right now and just provides a list of all the students that are potentially eligible for this balloting, that are going to be eligible students for it. So we can see all of that view. So if I click here to see only eligible students, I can see all of the eligible students and their information, or also see a list of all the ineligible students for the halls, we are also potentially able to go on to override a students that are marked by the system as ineligible, and then provide a justification for overriding the system to allow them also be able to be part of the balloting. Once done, we can, again, as always, review any of the cases. But with verification, we can then go on to save the configuration that we have set for this balloting cycle. Once we've set this and we then go on to click to begin ballot, or the system begins the balloting. So, system begins the balloting. So we then have the live ballots dashboard going on. So once we have a ballot, once we set up a ballot and we have the ballot currently ongoing, so the date that we set is here. We have the live ballot dashboard here. Once we click,
Mrs. She want to rubbish my own head. She will go and she go and set her own head. She like to watch somebody. It's wrong.
Madam Miriam, Madam Miriam, please mute your microphone.
Sam, do you have the file just to show them where that click will take them to? So don't
Yeah. So for the live balloting, it's supposed to show us the current trending for as the ballot begins to happen, as the system begins to offer up the spaces that allocate students to those spaces, based on the configurations that we have already set here. So based on configuration that we've already set, the system goes on to start allocating the spaces. So I'm trying to open up the live ballots to see that shows us how the system begins to allocate for what we set. But that screen seems to be giving me a bit of a headache. See. Okay. Okay. So I'll move on. I'll probably come back to that if it gets okay. So yes, so we then get to see the so where a balloting is live, we see the banner come up for the live and when it's closing, as well as also the number of students, number of beds available, and even the either the method, either the first come first served or merit based, that the current balloting is ongoing with. So going on, we are also able to then click to either manage that balloting or see details pertaining to it. But post-ballot results, so after the live balloting is done, so we see the results that show the number of allocated, number waitlisted, number of not successful, and number of payments pending students that we have. So for these, so we can see the successful allocations that we have, their payment status, payment deadline, room, the hall, their name and matric number as well too. So all of those, we can go on to potentially revoke an allocation or confirm that allocation from the students. In revoking allocation, we just provide the reasons for why the allocation is being revoked. And then this bed will now be, or space will be opened up back on the wait list and then given to the first person on the wait list, if that is the case. Other than that, students are all reminded for payments to be made. But after deadline and any payment not made, the allocation is auto-revoked and the bed is offered to the next on the wait lists. We can also view the wait list here of students. So we see the wait list. When a bed becomes available, this is automatically offers to the next student on this wait list that we have. So once the student is offered, they also have a timeline of 24 hours to confirm and make payments for that bed. We can also go on to manually offer students beds on the wait list. Clicking on this, we offer for any of the available spaces. Manually offering them will enable them to get or be allocated a space where they are now also given 24 hours to confirm and make payments for such space. Okay, so I'll be proceeding to clubs and associations soon as well. Right.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for this presentation on the accommodation management. But there are times that we have some hostels that we don't allow balloting. We get information of students who are interested, and we do a kind of bulk allocation. Do you make any provision for such on this platform?
Okay. So for those students, how are they selected? The students that go into this particular type of faculties?
We ask them we give them an access to a form. When they fill it, we just need their matriculation, and once we populate the matriculation, it just allocates spaces for them in such hostel, not in all the hostels. Then there are some situations whereby we manually allocate students into a particular space. I don't know if you have considered such on this application.
So if I hear you correctly, do the students also apply? Would they have to apply on the portal for this space, or do they apply on a separate platform to get into this?
They apply on a separate platform.
On a separate platform.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Rose, do you want to speak to this, please?
So, one question now is, are there specific hostels that are for this category where you manually assign to, or is still within the same hostels that others ballot for, but you reserve some spaces for this category of students?
It's not there is a special hostel outside campus at Yaba that nobody will ballot for, except there is no spaces on campus again. So in such case, we always push out kind of announcement that whoever is interested should apply.
Okay.
And when we have many students applied, more than the spaces, we try to consider. So in such case, we do a kind of bulk allocation.
Okay. So it means that, for example, what we should do is we should reserve, so we should enable profile that accommodation where you can manually add students. However, when they apply, you there will be, the system will still be the one too, because the number can be more than the space. So the system should automate the distribution. That's what you're suggesting.
Yes,
right?
yes, that's what I'm suggesting. And it's just a female hostel. We don't have any male hostel outside now.
Okay. So Sam, I think we can make provision for that, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
But now, how these people apply? I mean, do you still want them to come manually to you to apply?
You can give us a platform where they show their interest online. Then we
All right. Yeah, we should be able to make do for that. Okay, I think there's one more hand that's still raised.
Yes. My name is Adewale Adigwe from Student Affairs Office here anyway.
Hi, Adewale. Nice to meet you.
Okay. For our accommodation at the CMU, everything is done manually. And
Yeah.
we do it on a level basis, not faculty or department. And there is a special peculiarity about our students. For the 600 level, we have two sizes of rooms, the 4-man room and the 6-man room. For the 600 level, there will be 2 in a 4-man room. 500 level will be 3 in a 4-man room. Normally, we ensure they are restricted to 4-man room. Those that will be 2 and 3. Then from 400 downwards, if they are given 4-man room, there will be 4 there. If they are given 6-man room, there will be 6 there. So how can you integrate the college into this program? We have been doing our allocation manually even up till now.
Yeah, I think what we could do to add the college into this particular system. So once we understand your own special requirements and information. So like you mentioned, you have your halls, you have the room types too that you have for those halls. So it will just mainly be taking that, adding that to the system. So it's such that once a CMU staff logs in, they're only going to see the halls that are relevant to them. So, for example, if you log in here, you probably won't be seeing halls like the Jaja Hall, but you see halls more within the CMO's own campus as well.
Okay.
And then for the room types, those because we just directly build it into the system, the halls and their information. So if a hall has 4-room type and 6-room type, those can be added into the system for selection. And then, as mentioned, we also have the level specific priority. So technically, I could come in here and mention that for all 100 level, I want them to have special access to maybe say, yeah. So here, for example, if these are the CMU campus halls, this will probably be a 4-man room or a 6-man room. So we can set 100 level. I can set 200, 300 final year or whatever the case might be, as them having access to the 4-man room or the 6-man room. So when the system starts to compute, it will give that particular level special access first to those spaces. So once we just get like the information on the halls, the type of rooms they have, how many floors, the information, then just adding those into the system. So what you see will just represent what you have on grounds.
So we also have Mr. Adiva, Mr. Duto, you mentioned the Kwaku Adedavo or the hotel outside the campus. We also have spaces there as well. The College of Medicine, we have spaces there as well. So how would that be done?
Yeah, I assume these spaces are also halls that you provide to your students for accommodation.
Yes.
Yeah. So and these halls they have a number of rooms and the room types, if it's 4 or 3 or 6.
All the rooms there are 4-man.
Exactly. So as long as it's a hall, you have the information on the room, they can always be added into the system regardless of their location. We just have to tag those particular halls that these are CMU halls, and maybe these are the main or Akoka University Akoka campus halls.
Okay. These rooms are for CMU. These rooms are for
Exactly. Yes. What's the assignment? You as a team staff.
Do one more thing. Elijah, do one more thing. Elijah, do one more thing.
Hello, Miss Miriam, please, can you mute? Can the admin mute her?
Yeah, muted.
Okay, please. Thank you. Sam, please, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you. Then another thing about the CMUL, we have like two departments here. They are run on sectional basis. The medical and dental students, they stay in school all year round. It's when they get to another level that they just change room. They don't leave the hostel. So what do we do to that? And in that line, I would like to ask for your audience that probably you may need to come here to see some things on ground. The structure we have and now is done. They don't leave the hostel. And we normally have that challenge with those of them that are the radiography hostel outside. When they close the main campus's hostel, they want to drive our students out from there. Whereas some of them probably they've not even done their examination because they do the wrong session. The medical student, the MBBS, and the dentistry. Hello, did you hear me?
Yes, we heard you.
All right.
So we have already met with your team, sir. I think a couple of weeks back, and I think what we suggest is we're already making provision for you, right, based on the peculiarities they shared with us.
Okay.
Particularly for the accommodation, we can have another session with your team just to show you what will work for you, right? So we've already designed that, but we're not going to demonstrate that on this call, but we can do that for your team separately. Yes. So you'll see that we've made provision for whatever use cases that you have for your accommodation.
We really appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So no other questions. I'll proceed into the clubs and associations. Okay, so with the clubs and associations, we have the summary cards here that shows the total number of registered organizations, fully compliant, at risk, pending registration review, deregistered this session, and pending renewals. We see a pie chart that shows us the information on the number of these and how they add up to each other, as well as also an organizational registry. So a registry of all the organizations and institutions to see their details. We see their name, their faculty, registration number, session advisor, compliance status, payment status, and number of members within that organization. So also when we have the compliance, renewals, licenses, applications, and organization. So licenses are when the students either apply to create a particular organization. So for these, we see total number of applications awaiting review in approval or needs attention. So we see this. So for example, this, we see the stage they are at. There are 3 stages: desk review, dean, and then VC. So we see the stage they are at. We can click to review this. In clicking to review, so for this association's data science and analytics club, we see the name, the type, the faculty, proposed membership size, the objectives, as well as also the executive information. So that's the president and some primary details about them. So either CGPA, disciplinary cases, organizational positions also held. We also see the faculty advisor provided to that, the staff name and number, department, and email. And then also the member validation tool. So the number of members that they've imputed and their requirements met. So either invalid matric number or not enrolled, whatever the case might be. We also then see on the right here, we are viewing their uploaded documents. So either the faculty advisor consent letter, letter of intent, or their draft constitution of their organization also submitted along with the application. Then we have a verification checklist to kind of mark their passing. So either a mark it as an X, or we check it as this is good to go, contains membership criteria, we could go ahead to check, contains procedures, check, no provisions conflicting with university policy, non-discriminatory membership. Once we have all of these advisor and executive and organization details check, we can input any officer comments about this application, and then go on to recommend this to go to the next stage of dean approval or request clarification. In requesting clarification, we send the query back, or we can recommend this to the dean of approval and add a recommendation to as well, or finally recommend the rejection to the dean to also see the details and reasons for recommending rejection, and then we can go on to submit this detail for further review for it. Whatever the case might be, once approved or got rejected by the dean, we will then also see the buttons to know if we can then also send this as well for final approval from the Vice Chancellor. So also, we then have within here the licenses. So licenses are for all of the current organizations that we have. We are able to click on them to see their particular or their current running licenses. So we see these, those are also pending payments. We can go on to send to the executives of that organization, or go on to download the PDF file for it. So we see their status and payment pending, as well as also the cultural or the license for that particular organization. Renewals, so for organizations that are yet to make renew payments, we can see their name, last registered renewal status, and payment status too as well, and also their compliance score. So clicking to review it, we can give a checklist for review of this particular association. So either yes, executive information is updated, membership meets 20 active days, previous session not reported, outstanding, yes, and then payment session dues, whatever, then we can go on to either approve the renewal for this organization, or reject the renewal with whatever reason that we could also provide to why this is being rejected or approved. Whatever the case might be, if a renewal is being, if a organization is being reviewed or renewed, and we click to renew them, we see the details of the organization that has been pre-filled already, as well as also the executive positions that we have here, and as well for the advisor change, if it's same name, membership list, and activity reports, previous session activity reports, as well as also planned activity for the next session. They then go ahead to submit this for approval, which the officer, student affairs officer, is able to come here to review the information that they have just sent, and then go on to either approve or reject the renewal that they're requesting for. Clicking the bell icon is to send a reminder to the executives of that organization, either a reminder towards the renewal of their organization for the new session. We also then still hold the compliance. So compliance, again, we see a list of organizations, as well as also any warnings or violations that they might have had. So clicking to expand, we see events organized this session. So we either see events that they have organized, and then we can go on to see what was submitted concerning those events organized as well. If we have any of these that are being either won, so we can suspend an organization, we deregister them, or even log a violation for an institution. Logging the violation will tell what type of violation, the date of the violation description, as well as setting it as minor, major, or moderate, and uploading an evidence to log violation for this particular organization. So once done, we can see again more information. So we can see for each organization here to issue a warning, log a violation, like I've already said, suspend, deregister, view their license, also like I showed earlier, or generate a compliance report for that organization that can be exported and printed out of the system. So yes, do I have any questions before I advance to the NYSC mobilization? Okay. So the NYSC mobilization, on this, we have an overview showing the graduating students this session, a total number of students that are eligible for, let's see, we have the available for NYSC, and also the number of ineligible, either ineligible due to overage, program citizenship data errors, a number that has been exempted, verified, ready for upload, or pending correction from the requires officer action. So we have the mobilization batches here that we've formally created. We can always create a new batch. So creating a new batch, clicking this would allow us to input the session name, the sets, then import the records from the from exam and office, or exam and records based on the number of graduating students. So once we have that imported, we can create a particular batch for them. We also are able to see the exempted students, or those who are applying for exemptions, which we can go on to review their application for that exemption. So, for example, this particular student applied for the exemption to age, providing more information like birth certificate and certification preview, as an example, maybe once uploaded by them. So going on, we can then go on to reject the exemption or approve that exemption too as well. We can also review and see the past exemptions, and the certification can be sent depending to the students too as well, or requesting any reports from them. Once this is done, so for example, a batch that we have created and that has not yet been uploaded to the NYSC, if we go on to view this, so clicking, what's this? All right. Let's see. What is this? Okay. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. So we have the.
Dan, please, let's confirm that they can hear you. I can hear you from.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right, please proceed.
Okay. Okay. Let me try to proceed with this. So within the mobilization list that's created, we are able to select the. We're able to select the first of all see validations or exporting the verified list. The list of students shown either also applying already, the system already applies an auto validation rule, either for name, date of birth, less Nigerian state of origin, also for graduation dates confirmation and the likes. I want to open up the. So for a list, so I'm trying to open up a view so we see the list. So basically just showing the list of students that has been pulled in from the exam records of students graduating before we are able to review that list and then potentially go on to export the list for the NYSC upload. Although not being able to view that screen, for exports, once we either mark as we want to export the list of students after review, we see the total number of students and total number of verified once we clicked in to verify the students for their NYSC upload. So export preparation, so basically telling us the number of students verified, number of records that have some pending errors or data errors as well. We are able to select the format for exportation, the auto-generated file name, and clicking can help us export the NYSC format file. Once we've been able to do that to export the file, we are then, this is stopping us from exporting because we still have a lot of pending errors that we need to review and resolve. Before then, this allows us to now mark this system as uploaded. So the moment we've only exported is when we can now go ahead to mark this batch as uploaded to the NYSC portal. And the moment that is done, based on the students that we have within the list, all students are notified that their NYSC mobilization has been processed. They are also sent information like the registration portal, the link, the registration instructions, registration deadline, and contacts for potential queries. These are all sent then to the verified students. And then after NYSC portal return dates is confirmed, after NYSC confirms your batch via their portal, we come in here to provide the batch code and then mark that NYSC as confirmed. Ineligibility reasons for current batch. So for the number of students that we have ineligible on the current batch, for example, the current batch here that we have, we see information like the number of students that are over age and ineligible, not approved, or previous NYSC service or data or missing errors. These are all attributed to ineligibility for those to be part of the batch list that are being sent out. But viewing those information again, you can always review those or run the validation or apply bulk fees like this for how many are having state of origin that are not maybe in the wrong spellings or even programs. So once these are all fixed, we can then go on to confirm this and apply a bulk fix to all of those data that will then help us in exporting the verified list for the NYSC upload. Yes. Okay. With this here, so this is supposed to open to show us the list of students, but without the opening, let me please take questions for the NYSC mobilization. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Sam.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, this I can see confirmed by NYSC. How do you determine who is confirmed by NYSC? Are we linking this system, this application to NYSC platform?
Okay. No, we're not. But what that is basically showing us is that the officer, the SC officer, is also the one who comes to impute this information. So as I mentioned, once a list has been exported to be uploaded to the NYSC portal, we are then also able to upload it. So depending on the information we get back, so as an example, if we mark as completed, we see that it becomes a first things first, awaiting confirmation. Once we click to view and then mark exports, as I mentioned, once we've exported, so we see this particular file now. The export preparation was for 2,000 or 2,000, about 3,000 students, right? We selected the format and we exported this data. Once we've exported it and then we've uploaded this to the NYSC portal, which after we upload, we mark it as uploaded. So you can see it put a timestamp that this was uploaded on this day by this person. After that has been uploaded, we then go on to notify students. So all the students that were uploaded within that sheet to the portal, the NYSC portal, is notified that their mobilization is being processed via the student portal. So it also gives them some information like, like their registration instructions, portal link, registration deadline, and then we can finally, once we've also gotten information back from the NYSC portal where we've made the updates. So this is where we now come in here to impute the batch code for the NYSC to confirm by NYSC. So if I go back, for example, maybe one that we are waiting on the exportation. Once exported, you see here is where we impute the batch code, and the staff internally is one that then marks as NYSC confirmed because they've also gotten the information from the data they uploaded to the NYSC portal. So it's not automatically marked, but it's also marked and then time stamped by an internal staff.
Okay, thank you. But you see, on NYSC gave us a platform, a SABAM platform. So it's possible that
They said give you what?
There is a SABAM platform where we usually upload students into NYSC portal. And what they do is that the system has been synchronized with JAMB platform. So we don't determine who falls on exemption, but the system determines. And the NYSC systems doesn't count on our own date of birth. I mean, the date of birth supplied by the institution. It picks date of birth from JAMB platform. And that is when it determines whether a student is going for exemption or is going to serve. So we cannot determine whether the upload is successful except we download the error list and fix it on our own system to show that some students are not successfully uploaded. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. But I also believe you upload a list of students to the
Yes.
NYSC portal to begin mobilization. Yes, and then that portal would either confirm some of the students, and possibly also reject some of the data shared that the information is incorrect. Is this the case?
Mhm.
Correct.
So there is nobody is applying for exemption. The system determines whether you are going for exemption or not.
Okay.
Then
Okay. Yes.
the registration deadline. We cannot determine the registration deadline after upload. So the email content, all this information in the email content, maybe you
Yeah.
should be silent about the registration deadline
Okay.
until when it is announced.
Okay. So the list you sent to the NYSC, what happens when they tell you, what happens when they let you know that some of, do they also let you know that, okay, some of the data you provided on this list is incorrect?
Yeah, they drop on error list. There is on
Okay.
their platform, there is
Okay.
error list, yes.
Okay.
And it will
Once
give
you
you,
take that error list, what do you do to it, please?
well, we look at their reason for those errors.
Okay.
Most times it could be that the jam number is not correct. Then at times they don't take initials as part of their inputs. So once there is an initial in the name, it drops on error list. And it could also be that such students had earlier been uploaded. So it will push all of them on error list. But recently, like the one we had last week, they had issue with their platform too. So it was just dropping virtually all the students we uploaded on error list.
Okay. 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 Yes. So I still try to show that. So that's just to confirm again finally from you. Once uploaded, so say for example you upload a list of 1,000 and there's 5 errors in those names for five rows that have errors. Then they inform you that these particular rows there are errors that you need to fix. You then go on to download the list of 5, make the updates and re-upload it, correct?
If there are errors that we can immediately fix, there are some errors that
Okay.
students need to go back to JAMB office to get it fixed. So most times, some of students who fall on this kind of error, we cannot
Yes.
mobilize them at the same time. So they have to wait until they solve that problem with JAMB.
Okay. Okay. I'm okay. I'm trying to see how we also bring that into the system and solve that. Being that, so these errors, because one of the aim of the system is to send as accurate an information as possible. You know, since they are all being auto-generated by the system of all the staff and students. So please go, Rose, you probably have to chip in here. So once they see this information that the students have to go directly back to JAM to request for a change, maybe in, I don't know, maybe their name or their date of birth or whatever the case might be that they have to change in the JAM. I'm trying to think how we going to, or how we intend to bring that back into the system here, and then also show that change, or would this all just then be handled partially externally?
I didn't
So,
get that.
no, it's the question is for us, right?
Okay.
So, the error, they will not notice the error until they've gone to upload
Yes.
on the so what should happen is maybe when they see the error, because they need to notify the student, they can come back to the same table, right, from which they exported, and then probably update the status, right, who should notify the students on the appropriate response to take. Because the student then need to know that they are not getting mobilized, right,
Yes.
for that badge.
Okay, yeah. So I believe definitely we can implement the system to whatever students that that NYSC returns back as issues. We can mobilize them to also um, um, in the system to send those students the information that this is an error that you need to fix within your NYSC mobilization. Yes. My question is that when they go on to contact JAMB and make those fixes, how do we uh, reflect
Well,
that?
okay. So yeah, maybe we should hear from them. But I think that those people will go through the same phase of initiation for the next batch. Right? That's what I'm thinking. But the student affairs team can tell us, right? Because they might not be part of that same batch, right? So it means that for the next batch, they need to come in through the how the process is initiated.
Right. Okay. So, sir, Mr. Leroy, so my question is, after the students have made this change, maybe they've gone to JAM to resolve it, do they come back to let you know that, this has been resolved, and then you have to now re-upload those particular students and their name back to the NYSC portal again?
Yes, they have to come back. But that won't be for the same batch again. It will be for another batch.
Another
That is
batch.
if they get it sorted within before the another batch.
Okay, so they will now have to be added to another batch has been created.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think for core and rules, that's we have to note then that for the mobilization batches, even when a new batch is being created, we should be able to manually impute or search for students to add to that batch, not just directly imputing just directly from the records and exams.
So they coming back, just to confirm, they are coming back to student affairs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So we've taken those comments. We'll try to make those two as well. Yeah. So we move into the electoral management. So the electoral management, we have the active elections, upcoming elections, candidates applications, petitions, campaigns, and also if there's an active election cycle that's going on. We also see the elections that we have on record, the SUG, Faculty of Engineering, Medical Students Association. We see their status and their session too as well. If we go into view, so for example, the SUC presidential elections, clicking to view the information, we can see the eligible voters, which is the number of students that are eligible to vote, total of votes that were cast, the turnout rates, meaning that from the number that can vote and the number that casted, what was the percentage of that, and compare that turnout rate versus last year to see how active the students are voting. We also then get the distribution by faculty, so based on votes. So especially for a voting system that is cross faculty as this, we can see the faculties and how they voted and how many were registered. So no all faculties are voting more than the others, as well as also the turnout for voting within the different levels too as well, and by gender. We also see the result summary for it. So we see the candidates and obviously the winners of that particular election results. As well, if there was any petition or potential campaign violations log that were filed. For each of these, of course, we're able to export the details either in Excel or PDF for this particular election summary. If we go on to in creating a new election, we select the name, the election type, if it's a faculty, SUG, departmental, or hall representatives, and the session for it. We then go on to input the start date and time for nomination, for screening, for campaign, as well as also the voting dates, start time, and end time, and then the result announcements. We then can go on to create the positions, the maximum number of candidates we can have, and the number of winners we can have, and also eligibility requirements for it. And then we can add multiple positions too as well. Once that's done, we can then go on to voting access configuration. So who can vote? Would it be all registered students? Would it just be a specific faculty or the specific level, as well as also we can add potential custom filter for which of them. Voting method will always be either the simple majority or a preferential voting system. The electoral committee assignments would then be adding a member name and the role of that member as the electoral committee. We can have multiple committees added to a committee for that election, and also add their role as either a secretary, chairperson, member, or an observer. Committee members would also receive access upon this. So committee members are able to then either their name and number staff or students to gain view into this. In reviewing this, we then go on to save the configuration. So once we save the configuration, we see the election configured successfully, and we can then go on to publish to open the nominations. So opening the nominations, students portal is now also updated, and students are now able to nominate or apply for those particular elections. So for election where we have the nominations open like this, we can click to view. In clicking to view that, we are able to see we're able to see the information either relating to vetting those information. So once nominating, we can see the candidates that have applied for the role. So candidates in here, you can see the position they are applying for and their own details, level, submission date, status, and viewing details about them, as you know, how they applied, the manifesto they provided while applying, any documents related to like their transcripts or endorsement or CGPA for it, as well as also if they have any disciplinary backgrounds or records with them. Once seeing them, we are able to make relevant information for those students. Click to review for anyone that we can either, maybe if your record is seen or disciplinary record is seen, we can choose to disqualify a candidate from being one of the nominees for a vote. So we can send this message where the candidate receives this notification for why they have been disqualified, or we can go on to clear the candidates if that is the case, to add them to the list of nominees for this. Once done, once we have an election completed, for example, that election, we click here to view the results of the election. Viewing the results, we see this imported from the CITS2 as well. The verification panel for student turnouts and no technical irregularities. We see the winner for the particular election that was done, the candidates, the number of votes, the percentage win, also the committee person that was part of the committee for the team. And then those committee will be notified to append their signatures, and then we can now go on to submit or publish the results, where those students' portals are all notified, as well as also all students that were involved in the votes of the current outcome of the voting, and the new person taking the role for that particular vote are notified to be aware of that being the case right now. We also see the election cycle. So this is basically showing the cycle through either the setup and nominations, vetting, based on the date that we had created, while setting up the electoral calendar. So we can see that for the open elections, elections are currently ongoing. That is, so we see that information to know what dates we are in right now, and when the voting day also does commence for this. I don't think we don't have an analytics page for electoral for commissions, as we can view that directly to view each individual analysis of that election, and then export that information regarding it. So do I have any question for the electoral management? Okay. So I will go next into the reabsorption management. So the reabsorption management, this is where we manage the students that are coming back into the system after a probation or a disciplinary action was taken against them. For this, we can see the number of other under HOD review, academic affairs, student affairs, registry. So the students, their matric number, their program, their reason for absence, and their duration, how long they've been away, and the current stage they are in this 4-stage pipeline. Clicking to review this, if you click, we can see their information, more information on the students, their documents that have been submitted, HOD review checklist, also the student history, as well as also any other information attached to that particular disciplinary history, previous absences or suspensions by the students. The HOD review checklist, as when the HOD is logged into this, they see this, once they are alerted about this, they see a checklist for them to be able to select that yes, student academic file has been reviewed, program re-entry feasibility is confirmed, and the recommendation letter has been attached. Once that is done, we may now go on to approve that. So it depends on what the information we receive from the HOD to approve that and forward this information to the academic affairs. Or even potentially request more information, where we then send a message directly to the students that they receive that information to provide more info for what will be done, or just directly approving that application for it. So approving that, we then leave comments and forward to the academic affairs for they to also see the information regarding that, and then either approve this and move that to the next phase. So for next phases, for we also, for the academic affairs, these are also the checklists that they also then have to provide and check before they go on to approve from their own end. Good academic standing, course registration implications, and the academic calendar alignment also confirmed. Once these are all checked from the academic affairs side of things, they're also able to approve this, and once approved from their end, it's forwarded again to the student affairs here. Within that student affairs, what are being checked for, disciplinary conditions. These are all just checked by the officers for counseling requirements, if needed, completed, and no outstanding welfare issues before they too are able to finally approve this to send for the final verification from a registry. We see as we go ahead, the decision tree, the HOD reviewed and gave comments, the academic affairs reviewed, approved, and gave their comments, and the SA too can also review and approve and also give their comments in here. Once that's done, we can then see any students that have been fully approved. By here, we see that they have all been approved, the application that is done, and then they have been reabsorbed back into the institution. So student affairs mentioned all conditions met, and the registry gave final approval, and student status is updated. So once the registry has clicked to approve, the student status is now updated back into the system as active again, and then being able to access certain parts of the student portal. The reintegration monitor helps us to monitor all reabsorbed students. They are all placed on, so once the students is reabsorbed back into the institution, they are placed on first semester monitoring. This helps, this helps the panel to track, checking requirements or GPA alerts, whatever the case might be. So it's accessible by the student affairs officers and also the academic advisors. So how many is reabsorbed this session? Check-ins completed. So we see the GPA monitoring for example, this person that's been reabsorbed, monitoring the threshold that's given, also checking appointments as stated here for checking to those students, as well as also the assigned academic advisor to the students to provide. They are the ones who complete or mark a check-in as done. These are all triggered once a student is reabsorbed. So their status is switched to active, their course registration is enabled, Students is sent a welcome back email. Check-in appointments are auto-scheduled for check-in with the support advisor. Student portal full access is granted. The academic advisor's email is notified, and then the first semester monitoring flag is activated for those students to continually see the progress that's being made by each of the students that are reabsorbed into the back into the institution as well. Do I have any questions for the reabsorption that we have just gone through now, please?
Hello, is
Okay.
there any question? Okay, Sam, how many modules is it remaining for us?
We have students ticketing, we have anonymous reporting.
Okay. Let's just run through it very, very fast.
Sorry,
Please.
Roslyn, before you run through, please.
You can ask the question.
Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah, but struggling to hear you, please.
It's reabsorption management.
Can you speak a bit louder?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, but you can just increase the volume a bit too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is better.
The reabsorption stuff is not student affairs that does that. I think the reabsorption is taken care by academic affairs and the exams office. So we don't have anything to do with the management of the absorption. We can only be notified when a reabsorption says true. But as student affairs, we don't handle that.
Okay. So I want him to be done so that I'll be able to speak on that. So we had a session with academic affairs and they told us that the people that treat reabsorption is them. So the request come from the students to the faculty and to academic affairs and everything, just like you said. But during this course, the student affairs must be notified about the outcome and also the processes. So we will rework this module to suit that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other suggestion or question, please, or clarity?
I'm tired, I won't lie. My mouth is so dry. So I it makes me speak for the next period of time.
Mr. Sam.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, we. All
Okay.
right.
You can proceed after.
Student ticketing. So student ticketing, we have the number of open tickets that we have assigned overdue resolved today. So an overview gives us the tickets by category. So the tickets or the information that students are requesting. Also the volume and number of tickets that we're getting. Average resolution, officer performance based on different SA for officers, as well as also the ticket queue. So we see here within this ticket queue, clicking to open them, we can see information on the tickets are requested. So first of all, the information on the students and the requests that are being made. Also the conversation thread based on within those tickets raised and they are sent. So again, once this is done, it's also been routed to the appropriate units depending on where the ticket is supposed to go. But SA also has a view to either add responses or notes to internal notes visible to the staff while that ticket is being resolved, or a public response, or even request more info from the students, which they are then notified, or potentially either merge this with related tickets, resolve tickets, or close the ticket directly, should that be what applies. What the tickets have, we have the routing. So basically, we can route depending on the ticket that the student is selecting. If the student is raising a ticket for something related to accommodations, we are able to route where those should go to and who should respond to the required information by the students. So editing just helps us to select what unit is supposed to receive that information, and then we can set that for those office workloads too as well. For the manual assignment, we have the various officers that we can assign a list of a particular ticket that we have clicked on for them to view. Once a ticket is assigned, we are all notified. Also, the new ticket is shown to be assigned, as well as also the timeline for filling. So this is just the configuration to set where tickets go to, who receives the tickets, as well as also the officers and their workloads for assigning tickets to them. Once done, we are also able to still view the analysis for the type of tickets that students are sending in, the category, last month, this month, resolution time, volume, that's how many, as well also, and the different officers, how many of these tickets they are resolving per time and the average resolution, as well as also the open tickets that they have. We also show the reports for, which is the most common issues that students are continually making reports on. And then we show the peak ticket period. So at what points, what time of the week, and what time of the day are students sending more ticket requests? And finally, for students' essays, we are able to, for every ticket resolved, students are also giving a rating to provide for the resolution of that ticket. So that we then see an average ticket and number of surveys collected, 5-star rating, 1 or 2-star ratings as well. So with those ratings, we also see the ratings that are assigned to depending on the officers that has also worked and resolved those tickets. We can see the officers that has the highest rating on the tickets that they have resolved, as well as also the average rating by category. So we can also have an automated report on ticketing that's being shared to certain emails, either weekly, monthly, or every fortnight, to schedule the report and send the report on these ticket details back to those email addresses. So yes, so again, once we have received a ticket, we are able to open the tickets. So for a ticket that's on time, once we have opened this, we can see that this is a closed ticket. So as a closed ticket, we see the student satisfaction that they provided, as well as also the ticket details and the conversation that was held in the resolving of that ticket from the students and from the staff in question. And when the ticket was then marked as resolved, or whatever escalation happened in that ticket details. Finally, we also have the anonymous reporting. With anonymous reporting, this helps to just allow reports to be made confidentially. This screen also is only visible to not all staff, but certain roles as well. So, for example, unauthorized asset education. So your access is logged for the director of the dean of the SA. Confidentially can see the anonymous reporting. So within this, every access is logged due to the confidentiality of the information here. And the anonymous report goes on to show, the reports made, but the students are anonymized. We see the details of what they've shared, date, location, time. We can open to view those details where we then see what was shared, category, and assign officers to log. Very much very much like the discipline management, but we are able to then handle this as an anonymous tip that was provided and then being resolved. Either investigation assigned to an investigator, or logging an update or sending a response to the reporter for updates on this, or even going ahead to convert this to a formal disciplinary case, depending as the case might be or as the investigation goes on. We also then see a final management summary, which is visible. So this summary creates aggregate statistics. So it's not individual reports, but this report is for the director and for the VC's periodic view of anonymous reports. So you can see total number of anonymous reports, the resolution rates based to action, and how many were converted to formal cases. This can be exported as a PDF, and then they see reports like the category of reports, the volume of reports, status, average days, formal case, how many is being converted to a formal case, and what categories are being converted to formal cases, as well as also the resolution rates by category. So for the categories that we have, what are the rates of resolution? How many of them are being resolved? And finally, this can also be set to be sent to certain emails at certain timelines to schedule reporting. So they would receive this monthly or weekly or every fortnight of the report on anonymous reporting within the institution. So yes, are there any questions for the final two modules? So there are no questions. Rose, you want to go ahead?
Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you student affairs team, both in Akoka and that of Idiarava, yes, Samuel. Thank you so much. And we reviewed counseling with the counseling unit yesterday, counseling, work study, and adoptive students. We did that yesterday. So is there any major feedback that we need to go for implementation, or we can request for our sign-off courier?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so Mr. Adebare. Hello, sir, Mr. Adebare.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. If this model suits your process, we would like to request for an approval in order for us to push into development, because what is showing you currently is just the design. So we want to start developing. I will need the approval of the unit before we can develop.
Okay, how do you want the approval, written or verbal?
Okay, not verbal. We will be sending an email to the unit. So it's just for you to acknowledge that we can proceed with development.
Well, okay, we will. There is no problem from this end. So far,
Oh,
so good. Presentation is okay.
thank you so much,
And I
sir.
think we may need to start implementing it before we fix some areas. Because
Okay.
see, if we don't start, we will not discover where the error or where the
Where there
lapses
is
may.
loopholes.
So let's start with it. Then we keep on improving on it as it is. So it's a good one. Well done.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. So I would like to request for the email that we'll be sending the approval request to. Or will you send that to me via WhatsApp?
Okay, I will send that to you by WhatsApp. Or let the
Oh,
College of Medicine also send their own. So we will not be
okay.
speaking
Okay.
for College of Medicine.
And for College of Medicine, we'll still have another review session with them based on the peculiarity they have concerning all their other model. So that will capture that. But for your own end, you could just give us your go ahead. Then we'll request for theirs when we do the final review with them. Because we know that we'll have to demo the counseling units to them separately when doing our review with them.
Okay, I'm sending the email address to you.
Sir?
I said I'm sending the email address to you already.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, man, Mr.
So, approval written. So the approval that they should go with the development. The question.
I was not following. Please, can I speak?
Yes,
This is
please.
Olusegun Akinagbe from College of Medicine, Student
Okay.
Affairs.
Thank you, sir.
Please, the question you've asked Mr. Debari,
does it apply to us? Because you are saying we should give, a kind of, is it taxi approval for you to go ahead with development?
Okay, I mentioned earlier that this is just for the approval is for student affairs in Akoka. For student affairs in CMUL in Indiaraba, we will still have another session with you because yesterday we worked the counseling unit here in Akoka. Across the counseling module, the work study, and adopt a student's part, which we have not shown to you. And we realize that there's some peculiarity in your balloting system and every other thing. So we'll have another session with you to show you that, oh, these are your peculiarity and this is how we have captured it. So it's after that review that we'll request for an approval email from you, or we'll send an approval email to you.
All right, that's fine. We'll be looking forward to the meeting.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Okay. Mr. Adebare, I've seen the email. We'll send an email today unfairly, and we'll be expecting feedback from your team.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, bye.